Today I'm sitting down with talking to Billy Boy and T-Trash, and they're of the group called SMD, and they're not exactly Flint area people, but they're near to Flint, right?
Yeah, kind of. I actually used to live out here not too long ago, a few years ago, but yeah, we know Flint real well.
Yeah, it's a big scene. I mean, they got a lot of people in rap and hip hop around here.
Oh
yeah. What was it? Urban Legend Boys. Have you heard of them? Or?
Yeah.
Project Born.
Huh? Project Born. Yeah, there's I've interviewed some of them. It's the guys from Urban Legend Boys. They've been here to the studio before. They used to live right not too far around here. So, anyway, that track was off here. Do you have a name for that? The CD I have here doesn't have a title on it, but is that a name of the? Do you have a name of your that CD, or just is it like a self-titled one?
Well, we really haven't picked a name for it yet. It's not finished, so we're still gonna kind of just feel it out and wait to hear kind of. Let it name itself, basically,
Yeah, it's kind of organic, I guess you would call it, as the hippies would call it. So anyway, you guys got some major influences here, and you also had some people, you're connected to some major players in the hip-hop and hip-rap world. You want to go over a few of the people, the folks you know, or you've worked with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're actually real close with Bizarre from D12. We consider him a friend. He considers us a friend. We've done a lot of shows, done a lot of stuff with him. And we've done some work with Tech 9.
Yeah.
Done some work with Royce the 5'9".
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got close with right when he blew up. Right after he got signed to Shady was when we met Royce, and he showed us nothing but love so far. So it's been a big help. And his little brother, Kid Vicious. We're trying to do a track with him right now. So yeah.
Shady Records is the record label for Eminem, correct?
Yeah. Eminem is the CEO of Shady Records, and he's got a couple acts signed to that, and Royce is one of them. So.
Now, where's that headquartered out of? Is that right in Detroit, or?
Yeah, Ferndale actually, I believe.
Ferndale, okay.
Yeah. Well, they got a place in New York too.
Yeah, that's the main one.
Yeah, in New York City. But his studio's in Ferndale, and everything. There's a lot. Everything in Detroit, as far as the Detroit hip hop scene is. I can't say everything, but it revolves a lot around him and his people. So.
Yeah. See, the rap and hip hop is around. Probably 28 years that I've been aware of, here and there. I heard about it back in the 80s when everybody else did with the breakthrough hit, Run DMC's Rock This Way, they had that work with, Aerosmith. And so but it was always work in there before that. So, I mean, you guys are obviously not in your 30s, I don't think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So, my point is basically you all grew up with, like, hip-hop and rap.
Yeah. I mean, I personally speaking, I took influence from a lot of other stuff. I listen to, rock, classical, punk. I mean, I listen to everything. I like any kind of music is the kind of music I listen to. I can't speak for T-Trash, but I like all kinds of music, and I think it shines through in the music that we do, and the style, the kind of melodic singing that I do on the tracks and stuff like that.
I grew up on Motown.
Yeah, I love Motown too. I grew up around, I'm 48, so that stuff was like the soundtrack of my life, to use a cliche, so.
Still is.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I mean, Smokey Robinson, all those guys, just phenomenal.
I actually just learned a lot about Motown through my girlfriend. She was she's actually in school right now. She's doing a paper. She just wrote a paper on Motown. It was very interesting to see how that guy just started pretty much from nothing, pretty much just borrowing money off his family members, and how meeting Smokey Robinson just pretty much blew it up into an empire that shaped what music is today. And
Detroit has a lot of talent. A lot of talent. The world don't know it, but we know it. Michigan in general, there's a lot of talent over here.
Well, to steal the line, or not stealing, I'm attributing it. The guy named Tom Sumner does it. He's a friend of ours. He did a show from here for a while, better part of a year. He's just wrapping up his run over at Kettering on a radio station there, and he's going to probably start something here again down the road. But he always says the talent pool in and around Flint is as good as you're going to find anywhere else in the country, maybe the world. And I have to agree, for like all the various endeavors I've seen people come in and I've interviewed them for, music, we're talking art, we're talking any of this stuff that's creative endeavors, I think we're on par with everybody else. And
I would agree with that, and I would even go further to say that a lot of things come from Detroit, and I mean Michigan, Flint area, Detroit area, this general side of Michigan, and a lot of people don't give it credit. A lot of people don't, a lot of people even in like the hip hop style music will focus on like the West Coast or New York and stuff like that, but they don't. they don't really realize, I mean, what's going on. And Detroit's a hard market, too. Flint's a hard market. This side of Michigan is a very hard market to get things going. And I think the fact that with the way the economy is, with the way that, you know, a lot of the audiences are, and a lot of the cutthroat style of the people in this business, for people to, you know, still be pushing the way they're pushing and coming out of it the way they are, I think there's a lot to be said about any artist that comes from Detroit. And I think we definitely deserve more credit for what we're doing. Not us personally, but, you know, Detroit, Flint, this side of the state, and the country as a whole. Absolutely. I mean, just look at some of the acts and style of music that developed in this area, and you know, you can't say anything.
So I'm not a big fan, but I'm aware of the ICP. That's got a huge following across. I mean, I've heard
The world.
Yeah, the world. I've on Facebook. I've on places like Yahoo Chat, and people ask me like, "I'm from Michigan. Do I know of ICP?" You know, and these guys are like in Lebanon and Syria, you know, Estonia. They all have heard of ICP. You know, and it's like that's. I mean, even though I'm not like I like the older rock and roll, the older ballad stuff. You know, kind of mellow crap. But you know, it's really kind of cool to actually have that connection. You know, only so many degrees of separation from these bands that everybody else is asking me about. That's kind of cool. You know, I mean, I guess everybody likes being connected to celebrity, even if they don't want to admit it. You know.
Well, I'll give a shout out to T-Trash over here. You know, I mean, he's done a lot of work with people in Psychopathic Records, with, you know, just that entire camp right there. And for as big as they are, you know, the connections that I've gone through them because of T-Trash, I mean, I can say that those people, first of all, they're marketing geniuses the way they did. I don't know if you know how they came about becoming what they are, but I can say that they still are real down-to-earth people and treat you, you know, just like, you know, if you're working like we work, like they worked, you know, you're family to them. And so, yeah, a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, they know how to respect the hustle.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like I'm amazed by the fact that there's so many people out there really. I mean, the term hustling. I mean, I don't mean like, you know, pimps, but hustling. They mean,
just
they're like
working hard.
Right. They sell CDs out of their car, in the trunk of their cars. They're like this tireless, you know, shameless self-promoters. I mean, you got to admire that. You know, you really do. I mean, it's like it's capitalism at its finest. You know, and I'm a champion of that. So I mean, I think it's great. Plus, it's individuality, and I'm a champion of that as well. I mean, and I remember, T-Trash and I did an interview 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Well, it was a while.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So I mean, when he got hold of me the other day, and you know, sent a message, and my business partner passed it on to me, and oh yeah, great. I wondered what happened to you, but you know, you lose. You know, let's face it, everybody's got cell phones. But a lot of times, you know. You go with a different carrier, you just don't bother taking the old number with you. So I don't know, it's like I hate calling people up and say, do you remember me? So I'm glad you got in contact with us.
Yeah,
but,
I just lost your phone number.
Yeah, it's the same way. Yeah, it's like you forget it. I just dropped my phone into some water the other day. This is the second phone I've done that to in the past 2 months.
Wow.
Right.
And it's like, you know, so I was like, and a lot of times when you do transfers and stuff like that, you lose info. You know, I mean, because it doesn't. I lost three phone numbers when I did last time.
Well, what happened to me is I was on tour in Philadelphia and I had the Instinct and I left it on the merchandise table. I didn't even know. I was letting it charge. I thought I had it hiding under some T-shirts. Gone.
Yeah, someone stole that.
Philadelphia.
Yep. So, oh wow, that's now that indication you're traveling now, and you were doing that. You just started doing that back when we first started talking, right?
Yeah, like maybe about a year after we did the interview, I got connected with some people, and we're on the road.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of traveling lately.
Yeah, we've been all over the country as far as, you know, continental.
Yeah. Once again, but you haven't been on the planes yet, flying over the big pond.
No,
right?
no, not yet.
We do, you know, we
Not yet.
we do some other style, you know, we travel on buses, you know, buses and the vans.
Man, and it's, you know, I was going to touch on what you were talking about earlier too. I mean, that brings up a good point, talking about, you know, flying overseas and stuff, about what you were talking about, like with the capitalism of it all, and just, you know, what it's like to really be out there pushing it, how ICP and stuff did it, and you know, I mean, when you're in it, when you're doing it, I don't think people really realize the level of commitment you have to have to this in order for you know, stuff to happen. I mean, I don't think people realize, you know, what it's like to make enough noise, to get enough attention, to get somebody like Tech 9 or Royce to 5'9" to agree to do a song with you. You know, and people, you know, they see us out there passing out our flyers. I mean, you know, normal person on a Saturday night, they go out, they have drinks with their friends, they go bowling, they do something. T-Trash and I,
That's not what we do.
No, we're sitting here figuring out ways to one fan at a time, get our music out there, get stuff, get people to know who we are, get people to figure out what we are, and it's hard. You don't get respect for it. I mean, it's a tough market, and there's a fine line between being, pretty much where, 99.9% of artists are to blowing up, being the next best thing. I mean, there's a very fine line to it, and before you cross that line, you're here, you're pushing, you're working, you're hustling nonstop, and if you want it, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's something that you have to put 110% into, and that includes, the tours, passing out the flyers. I mean, what else do we do? I mean,
being
everything.
Online.
Non-stop, literally non-stop. It doesn't stop. We put more into this than we do our day jobs, our personal relationships. I mean, it doesn't stop. Yeah.
Now you guys I was talking to you before the show. We started doing the interview here, and the preliminary interview. I let the secret out of the bag. We actually talked before we talked. But anyway, it's you saying that basically you as a formative thing is this group as a creative endeavor. You guys been working together like 9 months roughly.
Yeah. We were two solo acts, and we met. And 9 months we've been a group. Yeah.
Now the track I played going into that, we played going into it. Don't want to be egotistical. We played going into this. Who did the major of the laying down of the rap tracks for that? The rapping on that. Who did that?
We were both on that, and Royce the 5'9" was on that too. I was the first one. I had kind of like the melodic singing,
right?
And then T-Trash was on the second verse, and then we shared the third verse.
No, it's like so. Yeah, because I mean, it's like I don't want to give away trade secrets, but I'm curious, so I'm going to ask. But that was really fast. I mean, the words are coming out really fast. Was that really edited, or do you have to did you just have to really get into it and could get that out in concert just as exactly like you could hear it there?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's amazing, man.
We
That's
do that
amazing.
live, yeah. You should hear. You want to hear us go super fast? You just.
Wow. I'm impressed, guys. That's impressive. I mean,
thanks, man.
And I'm a person who talks fast, and that's like when I talk to normal people, I have to slow it down like a third speed, and you got me beat. No, I mean that's like it's concentration to get that, isn't it? I mean, or do you have to just get into that focus and that's it? How do you do that?
Just basically stay on beat. You got to hear that beat and just kind of go with the beat.
Yeah, we're real big, like we get into the studio. I mean, everybody's got their own different style of doing it. As far as how Tony records or writes is different than how I record them, right? But personally speaking, I mean, I listen to it and I just become a part of it, and it just comes. And when you're writing, and I mean, once you start getting in that zone where it just pretty much starts writing itself. I mean, and then when you're in the studio recording it, I mean, like I said, when you just become one with the beat, it sounds a little cheesy, but that's what it is. You just start listening to it, and then next thing you know, it's just flying out of your mouth. And performing it live, that's different because you're running around and stuff like that. So you gotta pause and take breaks, and I'll have to look at him, and he's gonna have to pick up a quick line so I can take a breath, but vice versa.
It's like anybody thinks this is easy though. I mean, we're just got done covering a little bit of like what you go through to promote your own stuff and what it takes. I mean, it's definitely a labor of love. I mean, I think you probably wake up someday and saying, you probably do wake up at times saying, man, I'm exhausted. You probably just come out of that. You probably are just totally
whacked. Every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every day. We play off each other. There's it's either he's up and I'm down, or I'm up and he's down. It's hard to get us both while we're up, but we've never both been down, thank God, because
but we get burnt out. But then luckily he's there. He gets burnt out. I'm here.
Yeah.
No, what down you play? You obviously play more. You perform more down by the Detroit area than you do the Flint area, don't you?
Correct.
Yeah. Now, what kind of venues do you go play down there? Which ones do you play down there?
We just did a few at in Mount Clemens at the Emerald Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we did Emerald. We got a show tonight at
this is actually it's like a bar. It's called the House of Shamrock.
Yeah, House of Shamrock.
It's cool to do shows like these because I mean there's still gonna be a few hundred people there, but there's a lot of crowd fan interactions. So I mean we can definitely basically kick it with the fans better.
And that's what I was kind of talking about too earlier about the way the audiences are. Like we'll play a show in Cleveland or even Kentucky or something like that, and I don't know what it is. I mean, people across the country, they come out to see a show. They're there to see the show. They get into the show. You know what I mean? You know, with the crowds in Detroit. And I got extreme love for Detroit, for Flint, for all of it. But it does take a lot more work to get them to you know, get out of their seats. Even with the headliners, you know, you get a platinum selling artist that comes on stage and people are still sitting there amongst themselves talking and stuff like that. And it does take a lot of work. And I think it's just due to the general mentality of people in Detroit. I mean, it's and even Flint. I mean, Flint. You know.
Yeah, it's in Michigan as a whole. There's so many artists that people are just kind of like, well, we just seen our cousin's show. We just seen my dad's show, my mom's show. I mean, everyone's doing music around here that, you know, they just get burnt out. So it's a lot harder to, you know, get someone's attention around here. But
and that's why we think outside the box, you know, with our promoting. You know, we when we show up to a show,
we do different things. Yeah,
much different things. We interact with everybody. Number one, we got flyers that people wear as necklaces. You know, I mean, they
pretty much look like backstage passes, but they have some vulgar language on there that make people want to wear it, especially when you're in the kind of atmosphere of having a good time.
Right.
And we take pictures with everybody. You know, anybody that wants to talk to us, we talk to. Any artist that is asking us for assistance, we help. Any artist that is offering us advice, we listen to. And you know, at the end of the day, with how we interact with people, you know, you go to a show that we're performing at, you know, most of the people in the audience are wearing our flyer, and most of the people that were at that show have taken pictures with us. And you know, most of the people that were there end up, you know, coming to our site, liking us, and then are showing up at our next shows. And that's what you got to do, because you see a lot of groups out there that just show up to a show, play their set, and then they go get drunk afterwards. And it's not us, man. It's, you know, this is serious. And like I was telling you earlier, you know, there's a fine line between this is just a hobby and this is what I want to do with my life, and this is what we want to do with our lives. So. I
don't know if you ever ran into the guy named Lord Virgil. He's a rocker. I don't know if you ever ran into him.
No.
I'd love to have you guys meet him, because he's like one of the most down-to-earth, cool guys. But when he goes on stage, he's consummate professional.
Right.
And matter of fact, he plays a lot of bar bands around here. You know, he's a bar. Some people consider him a bar band. He isn't, but I think he's it's notches above that. But he
like cover
dresses
bands
up.
And stuff like that?
What do you say?
Like a cover band?
Well, he does. He's got original material, but he's also like he's got a connection to Kiss. I mean, it was an inspiration for, you know, the group Kiss.
Yeah.
So but he actually performs. He actually goes out of his way to make himself look different and wear different clothing and go out of it. It takes the extra 9 yards to make himself look different. And the reason why, he said, because people are coming to the bar, paying their hard-earned bucks, and they don't want a guy dressing up just like they are dressed.
Right.
They want it. Let's face it. You're competing with all these other things in their daily lives they got to pay for. You got to justify them paying that money out to see you.
This guy would get along with T-Trash.
This is entertainment.
Right.
Yeah, I understand it completely. Look at.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with blue braids.
We have conversations all the time about the theatrics of our stage show, and then he'll definitely. I definitely don't have a problem with it, but he is definitely T-Trash is very, very, very adamant on the fact that you know, especially for the. I mean, tell him, man. I mean, you say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially over here. I was just reading an article about how theatrics play the best in Detroit. You know, Kiss, ICP, and Alice Cooper. The people who do theatrics do phenomenal in Detroit or Michigan. Really, Michigan. They just.
Because they want that extra thing. They want they want to say, yeah, you can get up there and play in your jeans and your T-shirts, but, you know, we're paying you our money.
This is
it takes us hard to
entertainment.
make money,
Yeah.
and we want to be entertained. And we want you to put that out for us there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think that's a valid point he made, and I'm glad you see that, the intelligence in that, too, because it's like, I think it's a very valid point.
We used to have a guy in a marijuana costume go out there and hand out blunts. He looked like a big marijuana leaf. He called him the Ganji Man. Came out at the beginning of the song, and he would just throw out blunt wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he kind of it's like we talked a little bit about that, and it was like there's a lot of people in music who are advocates of medical marijuana, legalization outright, legalization. Also, you got people who are in there because of the hemp industry. So there's so that's kind of a cause right now that a lot of people are part of in the music industry.
Yeah, we used to throw shows where we just wanted to get it on the ballot, so we would throw shows. We work with Normal just to get people to come and pretty much sign a petition. If you're a registered voter and you hadn't already signed the petition, you could sign the petition. We sent it over there, and that's how we got it on the ballot. Then we used to throw parties and shows to actually get people, because I guess a signature will count as a vote, and that was actually to get it to be legalized as medical marijuana. So I mean, we feel like we were a big part of that movement.
Yeah, So I mean, I'm on board for the legalization of it. I mean, not just for not just for medical use, but I think a legalization of it. I'm not an advocate of getting stoned all the time. I've never done it. I never smoked it. We have the Compassion Club who does a show from here on a weekly basis. 12 years ago, if you'd have told me I've been on board for it and working with those people, I would have told you they're out of your mind. Because I mean, but as I got older, I just recognized that this is a stupid thing to keep illegal out of the hands of people.
I completely agree, and and you can even ask anybody that knows me knows that I mean, when I was younger, I used to be a big I used to love smoking when I was younger, and I mean even now, I mean I just when it comes to weed, it's not for me right now. You know what I mean? It's not that I have anything against it. I just don't like smoking. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't, you put one of those in my hand, I start puffing on it, dude. I'm thinking that I got a SWAT team coming through the door, and it's gonna, it's not a good thing, But when it comes to legal, I think it is retarded that something like that is illegal, and I have no problem, getting on board when it comes to saying this shit should be legal, and I think it's ridiculous that it's illegal.
Yeah, like why pop pills and do all this stuff that the doctors are giving us that are all made in a science lab, and we could just use something that's natural, take care of us.
Well, see, besides, it's like this research has shown you'd have to use so much of it to actually have an effect on your body that you possibly couldn't do that much. Damn it, you couldn't consume that much.
Right, you can't overdose.
Right, you can't overdose. Essentially, that. Yeah.
And there was a guy too that I was watching an interview on TV, and he made a point. And like I said, I mean, this is coming from somebody who doesn't even like the shit. And this guy was on TV arguing against Stephen Baldwin about the legalization of it, and he said something along the lines of Stephen Baldwin was like, well, so if it becomes legal, he said, what are you going to do when a bunch of people are, smoking weed and getting in cars and driving? He said, what are you going to do then? And the guy goes, well, he's like, you're right. We shouldn't make weed legal because he said, you're right, that nobody is smoking weed and driving a car right now, are they, Stephen? And it's like a good point. Everybody's doing it anyways. I mean, it's so what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but we're not real political on it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. But if you want to bring it up, I'll tell you the truth.
That's it's cool because it's like I'm part of the I work with the Compassion Club guys, and also music is a big. I mean, a lot of people in the music industry of all sorts, rap, hip hop, country, rock, all have came to the forefront to do benefit concerts for Normal and other organizations with the same objective. So it's a big part. And besides, it's like a part of the urban culture. A lot of people do suffer unfairly because of they're poor people, and when they get popped for drugs, it majorly screws their life up.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's what happened to me when I was 16. It messed up a lot of things.
Yeah, so
messed up a lot of things.
Yeah, I got a felon when I was just a kid.
Yeah, I got 3 when I was 16 years old. I had 3 felonies on my record. They're still there.
Right.
It's impossible. It messed up a lot of things. It prevented me from going to college. I wanted to join the military. I couldn't join the military. It prevented a lot of things. Jobs, yeah. I mean, you just got to get to a point where you start lying on the applications. Have you ever been convicted? I put no, because if you put yes, you're not going to get a job, and it was because of weed. When I was 16 years old, and like I said, it messed up a lot of things for me. So
yeah, and that's a stupid reason not to hire someone.
It's like the face. I mean, it's like okay, no, you can't hire a guy who smokes a couple of joints, but it's okay if you got you hire this guy who drinks a 12-pack each night and beats his wife.
Exactly.
It's really insane. Anyway, we're getting back to the music though, but I mean, I'm glad we did cover this because I mean, I see the more pertinent. I see the real importance of like I'm a libertarian politically, and basically I believe this is a freedom and liberty issue, and at the core, and just also on an economic scale, it's utterly ridiculous to imprison people at $25,000 per year to incarcerate somebody for having a leafy green substance in the possession.
Yeah.
Right. So, but anyway, going back to your music here. Okay, I know a little bit about the music scene in Detroit area, but more of the rock side of it. I'm older, and I remember like St. Andrews Hall was a big place where a lot of people played. A group that I really loved the scene. They weren't from the area, obviously. I was in excess. They're from Australia, but they were there a few times before they made it huge.
Yeah.
And just before Michael Hutchinson died, I guess they made an appearance there at St. Andrews Hall. And it was as soon as it was announced the tickets are sold out. I mean, it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have been part of that because that was a band I really loved when I was.
Yeah, I used to listen to them when I was a kid.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're a great band. I mean.
Mm-hmm. That's more like I was talking about the punk end of things and stuff like that. You couldn't group them totally like with the Ramones style punk, but that's getting towards that more heavier. I can't even call it heavy rock, but yeah, the rock style bands.
Yeah, listens to everything.
Yeah, I do. I listen to everything.
So when I was younger, they were saying there's a difference between punk and new wave. New wave was I knew a new wave was like it had kind of a punk edge to it. It had maybe they used the same kind of techniques, maybe the same kind of instruments, but they didn't have the anger, or punk had the anger. And I thought that was a good distinction because I like the Cars, the group of the Cars. They were different, they were unique. They weren't and Devo was slightly kind of new wave and kind of
Isn't
punk.
that, don't they sing Our House? Is that them?
No, that was Our House. Was that's Madness, I think. Madness.
what
Madness is quite good, actually, really good.
What did the Cars sing?
Oh, they were saying, oh God, who's gonna drive? There's let's see.
There's a famous one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, there's like right now. See, that's kind of weird. I'm a fan of the band. Got their best of CD sitting there on top of my CD player, and now I'm drawing a blank. It's like, guys, if the guys from the Cars are listening, I hope they forgive me on that. But I mean, there's so many different types of music out there. That like I said, rap and hip hop. Wow, it's like this area is just so awash with so many people who are really pretty good at it. I mean, and Detroit area is the same way, and it just. Sometimes it's frustrated that on a larger scale, like New York, California, people don't just recognize, and this becomes like a mecca to bring people in because we desperately need the cash coming in,
Oh yeah.
They tried it with the movies, and I guess it didn't work out. And yeah, you got all the talent here. You got all the talent with people trying to get into the music here. But like I said, I mean, it's like there's a mentality out here where people are trying to fight against each other, and and I'm going to get serious with it. I'm going to say it right out here on the air that people need to stop that shit. It's enough. And I don't know if I can cuss, but
no, you can. It's like this is internet. So.
Okay, good.
We say don't become a potty mouth, but it's like I mean, that's appropriate. I mean, you're talking about shit is shit.
Well, it is, and it's exactly what you just said. It's bullshit, and it needs to stop. The way we see it, and the reason why we're progressing at the rate we feel like we're progressing is because we try to help people and we accept help from other people, and we're not against you, we're not fighting against you, we're all in this together, and that's how we look at it. And unfortunately in this scene, a lot of people are just like, I got the talent, when is it going to get given to me? And it's not going to get given to you. It's never going to get given to you.
Take it.
You gotta go and shit. You gotta rob it with a gun. You gotta steal it, and that's what we're trying to do. And there's a lot of fighting you have to do to get to the top like that. And we're trying to do the fighting, but it's a daily battle. It's like they say, the 12-step programs. It's one day at a time, and one fan at a time, and that's what we're doing. One fan, one day at a time, and just keep fighting through the bullshit.
Yeah, like there is we just seen somebody who's was on stage saying I hate rappers.
Who?
I don't know. It was one of our last
name.
few shows. I'm not gonna say his name, but I don't even remember his name. But he had shirts on and he was on stage saying,
I remember him.
I hate rappers. And I remember even trying to talk to him before the show, and he was just like, he looked at me like I was an ant. Like, oh, who are you? I'm like, what's up, man? Just trying to talk to you. What's going on?
And then it's funny because these same people, when they hear our album, when they see the people we work with, when they see the names and the phone numbers that we have on our phones, when they see the pictures of the people that we surround ourselves with because of the work we've done, we'll end up getting an email from them being like, hey, what's up, man? You remember me from the show? Hey, like, let's
at the time they didn't know.
Yeah, at the time they didn't know, and then now they want to show the love because they see it, and we don't have time for that. We don't. If you're not going to recognize from the beginning that this is something we're in together, that we're here to help each other out, that this is a battle that we're all fighting against the same enemy, which is pretty much not a real enemy, but the fact that it's hard to get out there. If you're not going to recognize that we're on the same team,
Yeah, no, it's the enemies. They, the big labels, they need to start looking over here.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do.
They need to come over here. They need to recognize what's going on over here.
And people need to start making more noise to get them over here. And that's what we're doing. We speak to A&R reps on, a monthly basis. And we do that because of the research we do. We do that because of the, I have a lot of sales background. Tony has sales background. We have a lot of people skills. I mean, I'm not afraid to, if I get a phone number of a senior A&R rep in my hand, I'm going to blow up his phone.
This guy's a beast with that.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
I just, seriously, I will blow these people's phones up until, they pretty much give us a chance. And
he's being modest. He's being modest.
Well, I got to give this. I mean, this is a little bit of a kind of a testimonial for you that I've observed. I mean, you guys came from down by the Detroit area to come up here to Flint to do this interview, and I mean that shows a work ethic that's probably lacking a lot of people who are sitting there at stores that they're working at and other endeavors. They're just going to do a paycheck.
And we got a show tonight.
Right.
And we got a show. Yeah,
we got a show tonight.
And we don't want to. Don't get us wrong. We don't want to. I'm not trying to make it look like we're spreading hate about people. We have to work jobs too. We got to do things to, put food on our plate too, and to fund, all the efforts that we're making too. So if you're sitting there, working at a CVS so you can fund your disc maker's bill, that's all on you.
Right.
But the thing I don't like is where somebody says, hey, I'm talented, and, I got talent. I recorded a song. I think I'm more talented than you, whether the person is at a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. A lot of people have this mentality, and they say, this is going to get given to me, so I deserve it, and then that's how they go through life.
Yeah, they put it online and think someone's going to find it.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the way it works, and you don't deserve it, You don't deserve it until you fight for it, and nobody deserves it. We just got to go out there and show people that, it's not about whether you deserve it, whether you're good enough. It's about what you can do and how much you can do, and, whether or not you can prove to somebody that, look at all we've done when we had nothing backing us, and look at where we are now, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, we're two guys from the trailer parks.
Yeah, literally.
We were raised in the trailer parks.
I remember one time you and I talked about that, and I asked what the genesis of your name was, and you said, yeah. So, and it's like, I think this kind of recognition where you're coming from is something that's like I think it's pretty healthy. You just because you come from someplace that might not look so great on paper, it doesn't look so great when somebody looks at the zip code and is a zip code snob.
Mm-hmm.
It's let's face it, man. This country's based upon. This country's greatness has come out of because of a lot of basically nameless immigrants come pouring across our shore years ago. Struggling at jobs, that nobody cared about.
This is a country of opportunity, John.
Right.
That's what it is, and I don't have patience for people who say, I was born into this, my parents funded my college education this, so I deserve this, and then where are they? You know what I'm saying? I worked at a restaurant with 20 other people who had college degrees. I didn't have a college degree. I don't have a college degree. I went to 6 high schools, and in the reality of the situation is the reason where I'm at today, not just music-wise, anywhere, is because we have the mentality that if you want something, you got to go get it. Nothing is going to be handed to you.
Everyone's got excuses.
Yeah, that's true. I believe that you can only do so much, like when it comes like racial things, or women not being allowed to have certain jobs in the past. You can only go so far by saying you could create laws to prevent them from doing that, but otherwise, you can't force. You can't. You can guarantee they got access, but you can't guarantee success.
Right.
And that's what this country. We don't want to make sure everybody's going to come on a cookie cutter approach to success, and that's just not possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to overcome it.
Right. It's like I agree with that. So I like that self-reliant attitude because, I've seen. I had a friend who was in college. He took 2 semesters of college. It wasn't for him. He dropped out. He started his landscaping business in earnest, and he's probably worth a couple $1 million.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And there you go. The 10 richest men in America, most of them are college dropouts.
Well, see, I always made that observation. My grandparents had a restaurant. They had people who were the accountants and stuff for them, in their business. They didn't work just for them, but, they employed people. They paid people to take care of their books and stuff like that. Might have had a college degree. But they're out there with my grandfather didn't even finish 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's drop out of high school.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying if you have a college degree, you're doing the wrong thing by any means. I'm saying there is, like you said, there is no cookie cutter image. At the end of the day, if you got a college degree, that's great. But still, nothing's going to be handed to you.
Right.
If you don't, if you do, wherever you are, you still got to work, okay? It's plain and simple, okay? And
yeah, some people are damn near given that degree, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they get money from, they just get the money, where some people got to work hard for that money, work hard to get through school.
So anyway, I don't know if we'll go. I got one question, and then we're going to try to wrap this up and then play one song as we're leaving. But you probably won't know if maybe this isn't a fair question because you guys of your age and stuff and how long you've been involved in the music industry. But I was just thinking this the other day, and it was appropriate maybe to bring up. I don't know how the ability to download video and audio tracks, has affected the outcome, the bottom line for both the artists as well as the industry that puts it out.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want to weigh in on that with that experience? Is this you think the computers and technology like that has helped you, or is going to help you, or do you think it's an impairment?
Well, at least for me. When I first started, I was doing just street work. I was just handing out flyers, making CDs and giving them to people, selling them, whatever. And I just recently realized the importance of being online and just the whole digital age and how people are nowadays. Getting their music online and just
we're not in a position to say you can't download our stuff for free. We give our stuff away from free, man. I mean, we want people to become our fans. We want people to love our music because they feel the message. They understand where we're coming from. They enjoy what we're putting out. You know, I'm not trying to make 49 cents off you right now. I'm trying to get you to say, okay, you guys know what you're talking about. You guys got some talent. You guys deserve to have me put your CD in my car. That's what we're mainly focused on.
Yeah, we like you for liking our music. So there you go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap this up then, and I'll play the soundtrack. You know, this, you want track 8 wasn't from Leaving, up on Departing here. So anyway.
It's featuring Tech 9.
Yeah, it's featuring Tech 9.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a major, hey, I even knew about that. I'm an old guy. So anyway, I'll play that out, and I'm glad you guys showed up today, and I'm definitely glad to sit down and talk to you and anytime you want to. Also, before we head off, do you have a website, email address, phone number, anything you want to give out right now?
Yeah, we have a few websites we're really promoting right now. The first one is Facebook.com. Obviously, we all have Facebooks. Facebook.com/SMD Music. Music is spelled MUZIK. The other one is ReverbNation.com/SMD Music Detroit. Music is spelled the same way, MUZIK. Third one is www.smdmusic.com. Check us out there. I mean, you can download all our music on there. You can find out, information about our shows like the one we got tonight. We're playing a show with Trick Trick. It's got pretty much everything you need to know about us, and all our contact information for our management and stuff is on there too. So
yeah, then we got a Twitter. It's .com/SMD Music Detroit.
Yep, Twitter too.
And anytime it's SMD, we spell our music MUZIK.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
Well, guys, it was great to sit down and talk to you.
Thanks for having us out, man.
Yeah, we appreciate